Okay, so now we're going to take a look at our drums, and I'm just going to grip these synths up and just get them out of the way. And then we'll create a new MIDI track and fire drum rack in. And I'm going to use the drum rack for almost sort of percussion, and I want to create a separate MIDI track for my kick. And you could put it in the drum rack and sort of have it separated out into a channel, but I prefer just having it on its own channel. It just makes things easier for me when it comes to sort of arranging and using automation. So a lot of these sounds that I'm using are off original Roland style drum kits. I've got some 606 samples, some 808, basic crashes. Kick is off a new synth that we'll be telling you about very soon. Snares off a 707. Tom, I think, is off a 707 as well. And you can check out there's a bunch of places to get some samples. This website here, machines.hyperreal.org, has a bunch of samples for all the old Roland TR machines, and the sort of style that Dutch House is in. They use a lot of the classic sort of 808 kicks and sort of 909 claps, 808 claps and stuff. So definitely check out all those. There's some really good samples in there that can be really useful. So take a note of that. URL, machines.hyperreal.org, manufacturers Roland, and there's a bunch of other manufacturers there as well. So we're going to use a simpler for our kick. And the kick sort of, it's been made with a synthesizer using just sort of a pitch drop. And just mute this. And we just need to find the right sort of pitch for it. So we'll try the D note. And you may have noticed there when I was double clicking, I was getting a sort of lower note. And this is to do with, on your keyboard, you've got the C key and the V key, and this controls the velocity of the notes that you put in on the keyboard, or if you double click. So if you tap V a couple of times, it'll give you a full high velocity note. And then we'll extend it out. And then we'll turn the velocity up on the simpler. And it's quite a pure sounding kick. It's not dissimilar to an 808, but it's got a bit more of a pitch on there, and you can hear the sort of click at the top. And we'll need to adjust the speed, so we'll go up to about 127. And then we'll fill our drum rack with all our stuff. I'll go for claps first. Just get all these claps in. We're going to be layering up a lot of different claps. We've got a reverse clap in there as well. So we'll just get our claps in quickly. And one of the things that you'll notice about this style is that the claps are really short. So we can just use Command or Control and drag the length out, make them really nice and short. And then we're going to sort of offset a few of them to give us a different vibe. Just give us that sort of crunchier sound. And we can make sort of the first one slightly different to the second one, so it gives us a bit sort of more of a rolling rhythm. And just creates a bit of variation in it. And then we'll add in our reverse clap. And we can fire that in. We just want it quite subtle. We don't want it sort of a big, massive reverse clap. It just gives us that sort of lead up to that clap and just makes it a bit more interesting. And what we can actually do at this stage then is if I turn my velocity up on one of my drums and then I right click, I can copy the value to sibling. So it's going to copy that velocity change to all the other samples. And I'll probably have it really loud, so I'll just turn it down a bit on the mixer. So that sounded pretty cool. And then we can go in and just sort of vary the levels of our different claps, see which one sort of sounds most pleasing. So I'm going to fire these two, pan these two left and right. Keep that one in the middle. And then we'll work on our hi-hats yet. And these are dead simple. Just sort of an offbeat closed hi-hat seems to work the best. This is off 707. It's very similar to a 909. I'm just going to tighten that hi-hat up a bit. And there we go for our basic drums. And then we're going to add in sort of some toms as well. I'm just using a sort of 808 high tom. And we're going to just pitch it right down. Create like a rhythmic effect. And we want to sort of use the chord rhythm as a reference. And the chord rhythm, I think, is this. But the first tom note will probably get lost under the kick. And we want a bit more rhythm, so we can just bring this tom note out and that'll give us sort of a bit more rhythmic element. And again, we're just trying to make sure that our rhythms are sort of corresponding to each other. We don't have just rhythms all over the place, and that'll just make things really messy. So we're sort of, you know, using the same rhythm in our chords and our toms and some of the various other bits. And I'm not going to do any processing yet. I'm going to try and leave all the sort of processing and mixing pretty much all in 1 or 2 tutorials at the end. So I'm not going to do too much more to the drums there. We'll probably play about with that tom a bit more once we sort of get our driving bass in, and we can sort of tune the two of them together and sort of get them to sort of merge. So there you go, that's the drums. In the next video we're going to be working on our sort of driving bass and working with those toms and just sort of getting it driving along nicely.